In our vehicle concept art course, instructor Pablo Dominguez will not only teach you how to conceptualize and build your vehicles, but also how to quickly build the environment they live in. Take a look at how effortlessly you can create a custom 3D terrain using only Photoshop and Octane. Vehicle concept art is out now. Get your first lesson free at learnsquared.com.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to do quickly a map to use it as a terrain or something like that. We are not going to do anything crazy like a world map or Gia or any Houdini stuff. We are going to just use Photoshop because it's going to be something very simple to have in the background and probably it's going to be blurred at the end. So it's a very easy trick to create quick backgrounds and using Photoshop. What I normally use is just process in a Photoshop file, and that's it. As you can see here, I've got my brush pack, but I also have brush packs from almost everybody. In this case, I'm going to use this cloud brush from the Jamie's pack. Okay, let me see if I've got all the octanes. Stop it. Okay. So as you can see, this is going to draw clouds, which you might want to think like, okay, what the hell is this? So what I'm going to do, the first thing is just I'm going to invert this and I'm going to make this file 16-bit to have the range of grays better. Okay, once it's 16-bit, I'm going to just paint on black and white. Okay, so basically what this is going to create, even doesn't look like too much, it's basically going to create a height map. In this case, as you can see here, we have like black and white only. So the whites are going to be the top of our mountains and the blacks are going to be basically our, not the top, the lower part, the valleys. So what you can do here is just play a little bit with that and just create a quick, interesting top view or something you believe can be a interesting top view. And with that, it will work perfectly as a mountain. You're going to see the result in a moment. I'm going to click create here, for example, with color dodge to have here like a higher mountain. And also you can play with the smudge tool too. I've got the smudge tool with a little bit of texture to create more smooth valleys, like these ones. So we are going to use this later on as a displacement, and you're going to see how easy it is to create mountains for your background. It's very, very simple and very, very easy to use. So for now, I'm going to, for example, add a river. What I'm going to do now to add a quick river, I'm going to take this soft brush, I'm going to put it in color burn, okay? And I'm going to draw where I want the river. Let's take off the smooth. Okay, very easy, very simple. Okay, so here we will have a river. Let's make the valleys a little bit thick. And also let's play with a little bit of the values, Control L, just to make them, all of them, slightly more in the same range, because if we have two extremes, this is going to be super deep and this is going to be super high. So it's good also we have now very, very extremes, and then we can keep controlling everything in our picture. Honestly, this is super easy and you're going to see the result very quick. How quick and easy is create rivers and valleys in Photoshop. Just for the example, obviously if you want to tilt this picture, you need to tilt it by hand. It's not going to be a tilt picture, but I'm going to show you how to do it quickly. And the same for this one. Let's put color dots in this area. Also, I'm going to just add a little bit of randomness, I don't know, with a little bit of a scatter, for example, this one maybe. And also for now, I think the river is too black, so I'm going to grab this in lighten mode and paint on the top of this a little bit. And take this on the same values all the time. Great, so let's duplicate the picture, Ctrl J, and to make it tilt, we are going to offset this picture. So we go to filter, others, and offset. In this case, because it's a 4000, to get the center point is going to be 2000 and 2000 tilt. So as you can see now, here we have this. So just I'm going to erase quickly this with the smudge tool. You also can use the correction too. Okay, and now let's click Ctrl Alt F to reverse the filter we already applied. And here we have. So now I'm going to save quickly this as a TIFF, okay, to keep the 16-bit. I know. Now let's go back to Octane, and here I've got prepare a plane. So now what we can do is just go to my file. Grayscale. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just load a material, diffuse, and let's paste it on the diffuse color for you to see how it looks. So as you can see, here we have loaded our map. So now I'm going to create a displacement map on the top of this. To do that, just go to displacement. Now let's unplug the mountains from the color, and let's put it on the texture and this on displacement. You can see nothing is happening right now because we have no elevation. So just to apply the elevation, just move the height button, the height node here, go up. And as you can see, very easy and very quick. We already get like a terrain perfect for our, shots from the top view or stuff like that. It's very easy and very simple to use. You can see I can make it more interesting. Going to change the colors of this for let's put a RGB color, and you're going to see here how you have better. So all the things we can do here is can copy our plane and deactivate node. So we're going to have a free plane here. What we can do here very quick is our rivers. I'm going to put this as the material with specular material. Let's make the fake shadows, and also let's paint it slightly color a little bit bluish, darker blue, because we cannot see from far, clean and perfect Caribbean seas. And also you might think like, okay, but now I want to add a little bit of color or more realistic in this. What do I need to do? Just find pictures of mountains on internet or stuff like that and plug them. I actually don't recommend that. I'm going to do one simple thing here. So I'm going to grab my metal material just to be way quicker. So I'm going to get here our metal material, the same one we use in our spaceship. Okay, and what I'm going to do here now is going to plug it in our mountains. And let's take the displacement and let's move the displacement here. So we can put the displacement in our mixed material. And you can see now we have kind of alien type of planet with different colors and stuff. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just I'm going to delete the scratches because we obviously don't have scratches in our mountain. And let's plug it better in this one and this one to this one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is just basically adjust these colors. So now, for example, I can put a diffuse material to see what we were doing on black and white, and then later on we can apply the changes. So let's put this one here and this one here. Okay, now we cannot see nothing. Let's apply the displacement on this one too. And boom, we have here our colors. So the first thing I'm going to do here is just increase my dirt texture. So you can see now our noise is slightly big. So we can leave it as it is. And let's increase our dirt texture. Just having troubles with our grunge. So let's make our grunge here. To adjust everything. Okay. So our grunge, let's make it smaller, or less. Also we can delete it for now and keep it with the dirt. Perfect, this looks better. So now here is going to read us our valleys in the mountains, which is going to be useful. So and for this to have a little bit of random color all over, it's very useful to try to doesn't have like very big surfaces with green or stuff like that. That looks great. I'm going to change the color of this one for maybe a gray one. And this one we have the gradient, so let's see what happened. I apply this one here and this one here. Okay, now I'm going to invert maybe this and this. Yeah, it's looking cool. Obviously it's not super photorealistic, but to, you know, to be quick and have quick shots of environments, it's very useful. You also can play with colors, and you can still play with the noise materials and stuff like that. You also can add, for example, a little bit of snow in the top of the mountain. So to do that, let's create another mixed material. Take this down. Let's put this here, and let's add another node with our dirt texture. Let's plug this one here instead. And now let's, okay, no, it's the opposite. This one should go here. And here's our peaks. So let's keep it, the details gone, and the radius. So as you can see, this is giving us a little bit the edges of the mountains. So it can give us a little bit the feeling of we have snow. You also can apply this in the BAM map too. You have a little bit of relief. Same for example, this noise texture. You can apply that to a BAM, and this is going to give us a little bit of the texture here and here. You also can play with gradients too, and with the marble node. So you can do here, for example, like we have here, like a gradient. So in this gradient, let's apply our marble texture, which is on textures, marble. And now you're going to see here in a different node on black and white what it's doing. Okay, let's put the marble here. You Okay, so the marble texture is kind of similar than the noise. It's a little bit more organic. So let's put more octaves and let's play with it. Variance, you can see it's creating this kind of thing. Just similar than the noise, very useful too. Okay, and now we can apply a grading with different kind of greens and different type of browns too to have the earthy texture. So as an input texture, and let's apply here. Here you can have, let's see what we're talking about. Let's put this one more on this range. And now let's move this one to our color. And let's bring back our nodes. Perfect. And same for, you can also apply this one for this one, which is going to give us the variety in this second texture we have. So that's a very easy way to create quick terrains in Octane and Photoshop. As you saw, it's nothing very complicated, very, very simple. And also, obviously, it's not 100% realistic, and this snow way is a little bit weird, but it's, you know, it's good enough for us just to have something really quick and kind of like good looking for what we are looking. So I'm going to apply a diffuse here. For example, let's keep this more like dry rocks. Desert. Let's make a quick alien desert with my reds. You know, I love red deserts, so let's put it more red. Let's put more reflectivity maybe in our rivers. And obviously what you can do now, apart from when you already have our mountains and stuff, you can add roughness maps or stuff like that, or you can even do one cool thing. Let's go back to your scene, duplicate this node, and you also need to duplicate with another metal texture, material texture. Actually, we should change the name of this later, so let's change this one for terrain 1, and this one for terrain 1 2, because it's actually the same. What we are going to do now here is just change the scale. So in this case, we are going to make our picture big, way bigger. Where is our here? Okay, let's make it bigger, and it's going to give us a second one. So let's make it bigger. Going to unplug this one to see what we are looking. So on this one, let's make it bigger and let's make it even higher. You also can put more quality here if you want. On the geometry, let's put 4K for you to see how now this is way detailed and smooth. So here we have our valley. Let's put this other one. I'm going to move this texture a little bit to have the mountain right where I want. So here we have like the mountain, can see, big peak. And now what I'm doing is plug this one here, and let's make this one down. So you are also having two terrains. You can just rotate that. And in this case, as everything, you can start making more on the top, more on the top, on the top, and just non-stopping. You also can obviously take two placements and move it. You're going to start having more and more. Same for this one. I'm going to add more inputs in our trains. We can make even this one bigger. We can apply more quality in these ones too, because now it's a little bit low. So apply more quality. Don't go crazy with the quality, because sometimes it's not needed because you don't see it. So it's really far away. So just keep in mind, keep it as always as lower and let's kind of say optimized possible. In this case, for example, I'm going to make, even if I plane this one slightly flatter to have like the valley area. And for our class one, which is this one, let's make it bigger. And here we have an ocean. Now maybe too big. So there you go. We have ocean, we have mountains, we have a quick terrain. You also can apply an HDR here or something just to make sure it looks more realistic. I'm going to, for example, apply a desert HDR. And I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Just it's not in one. Nice. So it's very quick to add environments on this way. We also can do another thing in Photoshop quickly to, if we want to have quick environments. Let's make a black one, and I'm going to get now clouds. So let's put with the cloud brush on white, and let's make a cloud sky. This one, makes sure it's tilted. See what happens. I'm using a little bit too much the smudge tool. Maybe it's going to slower down my Photoshop. No, okay, it's perfect. So now let's keep it. Maybe it's a bit too much cloud here. Let's invert it using black. Let's have more range of grays. It's going to be cool. And let's save. This case, a JPEG is fine. You can save it as a TIFF too. I'm going to call it clouds. And now go back to Octane. Let's take our plane. Let's duplicate it. Let's make a diffuse texture. Let's bring it up. I'm going to keep using my day and light environment. It's better. And let's paste our clouds here. So grayscale is fine. And just put it in opacity. Here we have our clouds with the opacity. So you see how really quick we did a nice environment for our keyframes from the top and stuff like that. You can fix this kind of, mistakes later on. You can fix this later on Photoshop if you need. You also can apply this on the bump. And you will have a little bit of relief in the clouds, which is cool too. Maybe too much now. So what we are going to do is just, let's make this one and let's make this with the same projection, like a box one. And let's make the same with the same transfer value. Now the volume is not as strong as it was. We can keep it maybe on mesh texture. It's giving us more strong. You can see here our tilt is not completely perfect, and we can see that reflected there. So we can also clean a little bit this here and here. And save it. Go back to Octane and reload and reload. That seems cool. This is our water. You also can use the same nodes we use for the colors and the marble one. You can create volume with that, like create your fake mountains and stuff like that. It's going to be feel a little bit more procedurally than these ones. They are slightly bit, like organic in some kind of way, because we painted even though we are doing scatter brushes and stuff. So now it's just find a cool composition, find a cool angle to put your ship in the top in case you want to do this in 3D. And there you go. Have this. To make these clouds even slightly more realistic, you also can apply a surface. So in transmission, you can put RGB pictures, or you can put RGB color in my case, and I'm going to put just like a little bit of surface on this one. And in the medium, you can apply the scattering medium. So it's going to give you a little bit of the subsurface in the clouds, which is going to slow down your render, but maybe it's going to look slightly more realistic. But the difference is not going to be very, very heavy anyways. Make sure you have this in path tracing. Yes, if not, you cannot see the scattering. If not, it's not path tracing. Difference is very minimum, but it's a quick way to create nice shots. And you can just stick your ship here in the middle, or you can Even you can use it like here, land it, and just use that as a base, and then photo brush on the top with more realistic stuff.